Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Stephen A. Smith's confession about Gervonta Davis makes boxing's longest debated topic sound irrelevant. Gervonta Davis came off a classic knockout victory against Frank Martin on June 15th. This bout extended Davis' record to a perfect 30-0, and boxing fans are yet to get over Davis' splendid win. Many believe that Gervonta is the new face of boxing, and he looks like he may achieve even bigger things in the years to come. Tank had not competed in a boxing fight for around 14 months after he defeated Garcia in April 2023. Even with his extended hiatus, he has sparked more discussion about himself than any other boxer in the boxing world. Amidst this, ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith has made a bold claim about Davis, which likely put an end to a long debated topic. Gervonta Davis a bigger draw than Canelo, says Stephen A. Smith. The former NBA analyst mentioned how Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, and David Benavidez deserve to be on the pound-for-pound top 5 list. He did, however, note that while the pound-for-pound ranking is up for argument, if we talk about the most exciting fighter at the moment, Davis undoubtedly comes out at the top. On his Stephen A. Smith show on YouTube, the 56-year-old stated, "We can debate the top fighter in the world. For pound, we can do that. What we cannot do is debate who is the most exciting fighter, but who is the biggest box office attraction in boxing. That would happen to be Gervonta Davis. We just got to accept it." Despite the below projected pay-per-view sales of the Davis vs Martin fight, Gervonta has garnered a lot of attention in the boxing world. It is a fact that he knows how to sell fights, and he knows it better than anyone else around at the moment. This is what forms the basis of Stephen A. Smith's argument. Despite there being more technically superior fighters in boxing like Terence Crawford, Naoya Inoue, and Canelo Alvarez, selling out a fight like a star is something Gervonta is able to do better than others. So when it comes to the age-old debate in boxing over who is the best, Davis' ability to sell fights better than other boxers negates the entire point of the debate, according to Smith. Gervonta Davis is therefore currently poised to emerge as the boxing biggest draw of the modern era. Gervonta Davis' showdown with Garcia was a smash hit, generating a mind-blowing $100.4 million in pay-per-view revenue and securing a spot amongst the top 10 highest-grossing boxing fights ever. However, the lackluster pay-per-view numbers for Frank Martin's fight underscore the importance of a popular opponent to remain a major pay-per-view draw. Davis needs a big name next. Whispers of exciting fight on the horizon are swirling, but the question lingers: who are the most intriguing matchups for Gervonta next? WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson, opponent who will be well suited for Davis. The 29-year-old is known for his powerful punches, which typically finish his opponent out. Conversely, Stevenson adopts a crafty tactic to wear down his opponents by landing strikes from a variety of angles while being extremely elusive, dodging punches. It would be an exciting showdown to watch the two lock-ons. Meanwhile, what do you think about Stephen A. Smith's remarks on Gervonta Davis? Do you feel that Gervonta Davis is the biggest attraction in boxing today? Write down your thoughts in the comments below. Gervonta Davis vs Garcia is not the matchup to go with. Here is why boxing promoters should book Gervonta vs Shakur Stevenson instead. After Gervonta Davis' a-round knockout of Frank Martin, a ghost from the unbeaten power punchers past emerged in the form of Garcia. The polarizing boxing star briefly hijacked the post-fight proceedings of Davis' win, calling for a rematch in a moment that led to a brief embrace. However, compelling a rematch with Garcia may now be, from a financial perspective, especially given the amount of attention he is generated through controversy as of late. A matchup with Shakur Stevenson makes more sense. It will be similarly lucrative, if not more. While Garcia has dominated most conversations about the sport since his stunning majority decision win, now a non-contest over Devin Haney, he is not the right opponent for Gervonta's next bout. That honor should fall to Stevenson. Ryan Garcia is too volatile for a Gervonta Davis rematch. There is no point in Gervonta Davis pursuing a matchup with an opponent who is so unpredictable that there is no certainty over where they will become finite. Ryan Garcia is such an opponent, while his star power has grown since his upset win over Devin Haney. He has also drawn concern. Now a no contest. Ahead of the bout, Garcia's antics on and off social media raised our eyebrows, with many questioning his mental stability. The topic of substance abuse to pray for Garcia's well-being. At the weigh-ins for his fight with Haney, Garcia missed weight by a little over 3 pounds, rendering him ineligible to win the WBC super lightweight title, for which the bout was contested. He also donated an entire bottle of apple juice on the scale. Many questioned whether he was taking the fight seriously, but he silenced it all with a commanding performance against Haney, knocking him down several times to win on the scorecards. Unfortunately, following the vote, Garcia tested positive, which he first disputed before citing tainted supplements as a reason. Now, 1 week later, he has announced his retirement, despite having called for a Gervonta Davis fight this past Saturday. Somebody who misses weight, tests positive for performance, drinks apple juice at the weigh-ins, and retires just days after calling for a fight is not reliable. Davis would be agreeing to match up that may not even happen, as Garcia would likely do something that would risk derailing the bout or cancelling it altogether. Furthermore, he has been handed a 1-year suspension for his positive test, with his win over Haney overturned. To risk a loss to someone only for it to be overturned is not worth it, least of all when the memory of how the fight played out in the ring will remain in the minds of fans. Even though Davis has never had a problem waiting a year for his next fight, he should not do so for Garcia, who is too unreliable for such a privilege. Gervonta Davis vs Shakur Stevenson is a marquee matchup in its own right. Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson do not like each other, and their mutual disdain will serve a matchup well in terms of generating hype and fan interest. Nothing draws fight fans in quite like a feud. Davis and Stevenson have history, and would have traded shots on social media. Unbeaten boxing legend Floyd Mayweather Jr. recently hailed Gervonta as the most powerful puncher at lightweight, but distinguished Stevenson as the most skillful fighter in the division. He even took to social media to label Davis vs Stevenson as a fight that should happen. Fans have been calling for the fight for some time now as well. Both men are in the prime of their youth, boasting mutually impressive unbeaten records. Gervonta Davis is currently 30-0 with 28 knockouts on his resume. Meanwhile, Stevenson is 21-0, although he lacks the raw power that Davis wields. He is a technical wizard. Additionally, a bout between the pair would help settle questions about lightweight supremacy. Davis is the reigning WBA lightweight champion, while Stevenson holds the WBC lightweight champion. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.